My name's Emil. I'm a digital strategist and I answer marketing questions. Today is episode 29. The question is about tracking offline and online conversions, which is actually a really tricky thing. So let's jump into the question from Reddit. The question is from CodeRed2000 on Reddit, and the general premise of the question is they have high ticket product, which ranges from $1,200 to $2,000, and then accessories which range from $40 to $400. And what they're having a problem doing is they can track an online sale that happens in real time from let's say a Google ad or a Facebook ad, but then as it separates between the sales team taking over, upselling a client, and then moving somebody through that funnel through bigger purchases, the attribution between scaling and escalating organic search results, Google ads, Facebook ads, and their sales team, the results become muddled. This is a problem that happens all the time, especially when you have an active sales team and active e-com business going simultaneously. So I have just a solution for you. I deal with this all the time. In this video, I'm going to cover attribution across time and medium, why most conversion attribution is wrong, and then how I track offline conversions for this exact problem. But first, every Sunday, I send out one email that recaps all the marketing questions I answered that week. If you want to stay up to date on best practices, strategies, and become an overall stronger marketer, I think you would really enjoy this recap. It would mean the world to me if you could subscribe to the newsletter and my YouTube channel. Now, back to the answer. Solving this problem requires a few different approaches simultaneously, and I'm going to show you what works for me and how I do this. And the price range and the problem is something I've dealt with multiple occasions. So first, we got to assess that the data tracking is through layers. There's multiple layers that the data has to pass through for this to work accurately, and I'm going to make that as succinct as possible through a workflow. Then we have to also understand that sales tracking has tunnel vision depending on where the sale happens. For instance, with a online sale that is converted from just an ad, we get tunnel vision. Did that Google ad work? Did that Facebook ad work? And we're really focused there. For a sales team to take over, when they get the lead, they focus on did they close the deal, and attribution isn't really that big of a consideration for them because they've got to hop online or do a chat or through email. And they're worried about their numbers. And this comes in many different variations, but these are the two biggest reasons why data attribution is wrong. First, you have many layers that aren't set up correctly, and secondly, you have tunnel vision from a sales team. So this is how I track it, regardless if it's inbound or outbound. So inbound, of course, is going to be somebody typing in something directly into Google. I need X product, and then you closing it there. Or outbound, which is like display ads, YouTube ads, Facebook, Instagram, where I'm pushing my ads in front of somebody and they're clicking it. The first layer that I put in is dynamic UTMs. And dynamic UTMs, not just the keyword, medium, phrase, but I'll actually set up custom UTMs that are very relevant to that campaign and to the data that I need to track, knowing that sales happen across a period of time. And that UTM data is appended into that click that goes right to the site. So now we know where that first click comes from, right? Or the second or the third, but we know where that click has originated. And even if you have intermediate link shimming, this still works because a vast majority of the link shimming is going to pull anything that isn't a personal identifier out. From there, we're going to have a sale, they're going to trigger a call, or they may do a form or some version of these, but some information with their email and name, maybe initiating a outbound phone call or completing the sale. Whichever process they have here, what we're going to do is we're going to trigger an event in Google Analytics. It's going to be an event and it's going to be a goal. It's very important that they're both. We're going to use Google Tag Manager, and we're going to trigger an event when somebody successfully fills in a form, an event when somebody triggers a phone call, and of course an event and goal when somebody completes a sale. And what that event and goal are going to capture through Google Tag Manager is source, where did this source medium, landing page, and then of course all the details about that conversion. From there, we're going to pass it on then through Google Tag Manager into a Google conversion if it originated from Google. This is the first layer or second layer. So we have our UTM, then that UTM information is passed on. So let's say I come to the site, I buy a $40 item, not a big purchase item, but I'm interested in, or a $50 item, but I'm interested in a bigger product. I don't know exactly what your product is, so this workflow may seem a little weird, but it'll make sense as we move along. I make that purchase right there and then. You track all of my sales details, you track everything. And that tracking needs a second layer on top of it. So UTMs, then Google Tag Manager, then CallRail. I love CallRail here for e-com businesses that have a sales component, because CallRail will pass on details from forms, calls, and even the sale through. We can pass all these into the CallRail infrastructure, into our Google Tag Manager, into Google Data Studio, into Google Analytics. We can integrate all of this tracking. So the form will have hidden fields where we're going to put the click IDs. So this is going to be Google Click ID, Facebook Click ID. Have a form field for that, and another form field, hidden form field for UTM. So now when somebody comes to the site, they're going to get appended, if they're from a Google ad, where they originated from. If they call, we're going to trigger what keyword and campaign got them to call when they landed on the website or used an extension on a Google ad. And if they complete a sale, we're going to pass on the purchase details. And those purchase details get passed into a conversion, and that marks back to Google Ads, Google Analytics, and that event. But then from there, we're going to pass all of that, whether it's a sale right there on the site or passing a lead on, into a CRM. And that CRM is going to have all of that data. Landing page, source medium, click IDs, the entire gamut of what's available. And as you pass this into the CRM, that CRM should trigger your sales team to call. Your sales team shouldn't have the option to get a lead before they enter the CRM. And you more than likely already have a CRM. Just make sure it's calibrated to track all of the details from the originating click. And then we go to offline conversion flow. Somebody in the comments already commented that setting up offline conversions is critical. 100%. But setting offline conversions as your last action item after you pass through all these layers is critical, so we don't have double entry on those conversions. And then from there, those offline conversions, depending on the volume of sales that your team has, you can do weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or quarterly uploads back to Google Ads and Analytics, letting them know that this worked. That, hey, this person that came through at $40 then converted later for $1,500, and report that to Google as those conversions happen. But we have to solve in sections, and there is another element called multi-channel funnels in Google Analytics. So getting familiar with how multi-channel funnels work, and layering Google Analytics 4, which is insanely good at cross-device, multiple visits, multiple browser tracking, and only getting better. It's the future of cookieless browsing. Layering that on top and running it in parallel with existing Google Analytics, I think you will have a much stronger understanding of the ROAS and reporting back by collecting all these details and having a central point, a central area of truth. I would use Google Data Studio with a combination of custom inputs in my CRM, so I could track these lifelines or life cycles of the sale. I truly hope this helps. That's how I set it up. It's worked gangbusters for me. If you found this valuable, it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe below. And as always, good luck and happy marketing.